been over 2 months since the body of 14-year-old Celeste River Hernandez was found in the trunk of singer David's Tesla. When the story first broke, it captivated the world, became a tragic murder mystery that was unfolding in real time. At the center of the story was a predatory relationship between a well-known artist and a young middle school girl. A relationship that in everyone's eyes ended in her murder. While most murder mysteries usually start with the suspect being a mystery, that wasn't the case with this story. Since day one, all the signs pointed at David, with eerie foreshadowing in his music videos and song lyrics that sounded more like a confession than a song. Just about everybody had come to the conclusion that David was likely the culprit behind it all. But even when all the signs are pointing at him, authorities claimed he wasn't being investigated as a suspect. This confused everyone, as there was so much evidence pointing to David, but for some reason, the authorities seemed to be protecting him, as they had gone out of their way to ensure that David wasn't a suspect. But recently, some key information is revealed that might not only confirm, but also suggest that this was all premeditated. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the new information authorities revealed about David and how it might confirm that this was all premeditated. Let's get right into it. By now, we all know the tragic story of Celeste River Hernandez, the girl who was discovered in the trunk of a Tesla owned by a well-known artist by the name of David. At first, no one knew what to think. No one would have imagined this 20-year-old famous singer would be behind something so horrifying. At the beginning, some people thought that maybe they stole his car and used it to hide a body. But as the details began to emerge, it became clear that David not only knew this person, but was in a forbidden relationship with her. A relationship that seemingly led to her demise. Each passing day, new details emerged that kept making David look more than guilty. First, it was revealed that he made a song called Celeste, where he's singing about a girl named Celeste. Then it was revealed that Celeste's mother claimed her daughter was dating a boy named David, hinting at a possible relationship between the two. Then it was a live stream. The speculations on whether David had actually been dating Celeste ended when videos emerged of a past live stream where David was seen with Celeste. In the video, they were seen together confirming what everyone thought. Then it was Celeste's teacher confirming the stories, and David's neighbours confirmed that they had seen Celeste going to his home. Pretty much everything pointed at David. And when we were all expecting authorities to reveal they were investigating him, they caught everyone off guard when they instead released a statement saying he wasn't even a suspect. It wasn't making sense to people that heard this. David should have been identified as a person of interest and a possible suspect. But for some reason, he was strangely being cleared. This right here never really made sense. Maybe it was favoritism. David is a rich celebrity signed to a powerful record label. Could it be that the authorities treat him like he's more important than others? You could argue that if David were just an everyday regular person and not a rich celebrity, he would have been identified as a suspect long ago. But for obvious reasons, the authorities were protecting him. After what was recently revealed, that doesn't seem so far-fetched. Just a few days back, after months of all the signs pointing to David being guilty, the authorities finally revealed he's a suspect, which is probably about 2 months too late. The investigators also revealed that although David has been identified as a suspect, he hasn't been interviewed yet. They also claimed that David wasn't being cooperative, even though early in the investigation he was being cooperative. Something else they stated that isn't surprising is that David isn't the only suspect, now hinting at a second suspect. It was reported by the media that the LAPD homicide detectives have identified a second suspect in the death of Celeste Rivers, making a major breakthrough in the ongoing investigation. They claim to have a new development using sophisticated tracking methods that reveal connections between multiple individuals in a mysterious nighttime journey in the Tesla last spring. According to a lawyer who has a police source involved in the investigation, the suspect may have been involved before, during and after her death. Detectives analysed cell phone data, Tesla vehicle information, and location data from social media platforms to establish a timeline of events and connect the suspect to the key moments in the investigation. The authorities revealed that both David and the second suspect went on a mysterious trip to a remote area in Santa Barbara. They claim to have uncovered evidence that might suggest Celeste's body was in a trunk during the trip, hinting at the possibility that David and this unknown accomplice made this trip in the middle of the night looking for a place to dump Celeste's body. Obviously, since the body was then found in that same Tesla, must not have gone through with it. Now, on top of all of this, another source who is close to this case reported that Celeste's body showed signs of having been frozen. And now the authorities are revealing that Celeste might have been dead for months. So David might have killed Celeste months before her body was found and then kept her body from decomposing by storing her in a freezer, meaning her death could have taken place around the same time David was releasing videos where he showed a body being placed in the trunk of a car, which again points that something more sinister was happening to Celeste. Like you might have heard many times already from the thousands of people who have covered this, David often showed a girl who looked awfully like Celeste in many of his videos. He also showed these Celeste lookalikes meeting their demise in these videos as well. For example, in his romantic homicide music video, the Celeste lookalike in the video appears to not only be gone, but being used in some sort of dark ritual. The music video has plenty of co-references. When Celeste is shown in the music video, she seemed to be lying in a bed wearing a white dress with blood everywhere. You can notice that there are candles lined up all over the room, like seen in a ritual, all the while David stares at her demonically. The entire scene looks ritualistic. When you understand symbolism, you understand that everything is used for a reason. Like we see with the Celeste lookalike wearing a white dress in a music video that was put there for symbolic meaning. In the occult, those who are sacrificed are often dressed in white to represent purity and innocence, right? So this could reference Celeste and not only being innocent because of her young age, but literally depicting the sacrifice of innocence. This video isn't just art. It's a confession. It was foreshadowing that he was planning on doing all along. Since this happened years before Celeste was found, people think it would be far-fetched that any of this was about Celeste. But when you look at the occult, some rituals are supposed to unfold over the course of years. And evidence would suggest that what David did to Celeste was clearly ritualistic. It's the reason why he depicted Celeste being sacrificed in this music video. As crazy as that sounds, let's think about it. This is one of David's breakout hits, a video that shows him sacrificing a girl who looks very similar to Celeste. Do you think maybe the information about the body being found, showing signs it was previously frozen, proves that this in fact was a ritual sacrifice? You guys might remember how David used death imagery during his recent tour. No? So David's tour, which was taking place alongside the police discovering Celeste's body, had a lot of questionable imagery. During the performance, people reported seeing a casket set up and a place to write letters to dead loved ones. Think about this for a second. While Celeste's body was being found, David was setting up caskets at his performance, hinting at death. So did David want her body to be found alongside his tour commencing? It was all planned. That's why he was setting up caskets at his shows. This was supposed to represent her funeral, the completion of the sacrifice, which was celebrated unknowingly by all of his fans. Remember, rituals are all about harvesting energy. What better place to harvest energy for a ritual than a performance with thousands of people directing their energy to the center of the stage? This performance and her body being found were all part of the ritual. David wanted her body to be found, and it got found. That's why he left it in a Tesla. David had all the chance to get rid of the body, even the Tesla, but he didn't. He traveled with the body to a remote area in the middle of the night and didn't get rid of the car or the body. Instead of getting rid of the body, any of those chances he had, he instead went on and left it in his trunk. The car was obviously left out there with the body so it could be found. He could have left the body anywhere else and it wouldn't have immediately pointed to him. Now, the fact that she was also previously frozen tells us that he was storing her body in a freezer to preserve it and prevent it from fully decomposing. Also, the body could be found while he was on tour, like some sick, twisted marketing ploy. It was all a ritual. All his music videos and songs are telling us this. He was never only interested in Celeste as a girlfriend. He wanted to destroy her innocence in every way. Speculate about what most probably happened. David got himself involved in occult practices in order to further his career. He started talking to Celeste and chose her to be a sacrifice. He then made several songs and videos foreshadowing the sacrifice, leading up to the moment where he actually did it. He then kept her body on ice in order to have her body be found while he was doing performances depicting her funeral, symbolizing her death. Now, considering how this case has unfolded, it's clear David is being protected. The reason David hasn't been arrested is probably due to some powerful people who encouraged his twisted behavior, helping him to cover up for it. This is why police are being so hands-off with him. We all know that anyone else would have been arrested already, but David wasn't even a suspect until just a few days ago. This already seems like police are protecting him. But after what was recently revealed, we can pretty much confirm that's exactly what they're doing, really. It was reported just recently that the authorities working on the Celeste case contacted the coroner's office, instructing them to keep all information private about Celeste's autopsy. Now, the coroner's office refused their request and is currently trying to fight this order to be able to reveal the vital information. Even they thought it was odd that the authorities will request they withhold this information from the public. Think about it. Since the beginning, they've acted like David had nothing to do with this. When they finally admit he might be involved, they try to hide information that proves it from the public. Now, on top of this, authorities also came out and denied that Celeste's body was dismembered and frozen when it was found, claiming it wouldn't make any sense. Again, seeming like covering things up. But the thing is, others connected to the case doubled down and told TMZ that the coroners confirmed it themselves. Take a look at this.
An LAPD captain is disputing part of a story that we broke over the weekend. A story about David, the singer David, and the body that was found in his Tesla, that body of Celeste Rivas. And the part of our story that we broke over the weekend was that that the remains of Celeste were partially frozen when they were found in the Tesla. This was back in early September, first week in September, when they discovered this when David's car had been towed to an LA tow yard. Well, the LAPD captain is saying that the body was not frozen.
So herein lies the issue. We have a very well-connected source connected to the medical examiner, the LA County medical examiner, which currently has the body. And that source has doubled, tripled, quadrupled, and sextupled down, actually, now, saying that the body was indeed partially frozen when it was received by law enforcement. So that's kind of interesting, but the medical examiner is just telling a different story, or at least the sources we have, and we have sources in all camps in this, there's a conflict here.
We'd heard that there had been this conflict between LAPD and the medical examiner.
There's been tension for several years. But this is kind of interesting. One of the documents at the LA County Medical Examiner's office has an interesting statement. This has to do with trying to fingerprint Celeste's body. It says, the decedent was not live scanned due to waterlogged fingers. Well, that's kind of interesting.
Right. Why would the fingers
be waterlogged?
Well, certainly if the body had been frozen for quite some time and then is sitting in a bag in this Tesla out in the blazing hot summer sun, yeah, you would imagine that there's going to be some water in that bag.
So you've got to kind of like look at the big picture here.
This points to a cover-up. It also indicates that whatever David is doing is connected to powerful people. It's clear that we're not being told the truth about the story. Something that's become all too common when it comes to situations involving powerful, rich people. Even after cops named David as a person of interest. Are police doing enough to bring justice to Celeste and her family? A young girl who had a whole life ahead of her. I've talked before about how dark the music industry can be and how dark the price for fame gets. David is a perfect example of that. Likely made to dance with the devil for a moment in the spotlight. And Celeste was a price for his admission. Well, I'm going to end this one here. Thanks for watching another episode. If you're still with me, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.